Welcome to Facts for Real videos. Fungi are now found everywhere. In your refrigerator, an old lemon can have mold on it. You might find fungi on your mattress and it is a fungus. The bathroom tiles you have. The world's fungus species could number in the millions. And the majority of the fungi among us remain undiscovered. Some of them are rather harmless, like those that appear in the refrigerator's back corner. And some have the power to transform a living being into a zombie. This is not a film. However, to see reality, let's go to a jungle. How the cordyceps fungus converts some insects lives into a nightmare. On the ant's back, a small, nearly undetectable fungal spore floats in the air. He works non-stop for the benefit of the colony without taking any notice of anything. A few days later, the spore begins to enter its body. The unfortunate ant starts acting strangely, making it tremble. It does not sleep well. Due to its lack of appetite, other ants perceive it as a threat. As a result, they kick their sibling off of the ant hill. But because it lacks control, the afflicted ant doesn't want to come back. It no longer has life because the fungus inside of it grows. Through the blood of the insect, it spreads throughout the body. It starts to gradually dominate the entire nervous system. The ant's behavior and cause it to go in that direction by affecting the brain and muscles. At this stage, the creature transforms into a zombie against the ant's will. It goes alone through the woodland in search of a high location. The ant then climbs to a height of 10 inches and tightly clutches the stem with his jaws, which nothing can release. It could be a blade of grass, a plant, or a shrub. Because the ant is unable to unwind it from there, the bug doesn't fit in its jaws anymore and waits there for several days. This time, the fungus steadily grows while sort of eating the ant. It emerges from the end in various orientations, twists, and directions before the parasite expands, pulls up, and releases hundreds of tiny spores within. In almost all of these locations, spores don't live long, but some of them will find their host. Some spores can get on the area with working ants, and when the fungus lands on some of them, everything will start again. Now imagine that this tiny monster evolves and begins attacking people. Scientists said this was impossible since the human body temperature is higher than most animals. Right, this implies that the fungus will adjust to warming, and when it does, tiny spores will enter the body through the ears, nose, and mouth and get into the blood, where they will start to reproduce and capture the nervous system. The affected person will have a fever and then start experiencing hallucinations. Eventually, they will become insane and only want to spread the fungus to others if it can cause an ant to clamp its jaws tightly around a leaf. Even see a growth in people's muscles. Despite their might, infected individuals won't attack others. They'll scale trees or building roofs to doze off indefinitely. In the meantime, the fungus grows and exudes. The wind picks up the spores and disperses them everywhere. The globe in the early stages of infection. While many are still not prepared enough, fungi will quickly take over the world and spread across. The remaining survivors who are able to avoid contact will build bunkers first and then hide underground. Gas masks will still become more valuable than gold. Gas masks will be widely available if people understand that the survival of humanity comes before any company. All of this may seem like excellent news. Since you don't have to battle them or flee from the infected, quarantine zones will be implemented in all cities. People will only leave their homes wearing gas masks and will only enter buildings with powerful air ventilation systems. If people comprehend. If they are infected, they will quietly tell the police, acquire food supplies, and leave the city. They will grant permission for their loved ones to stay with them in gas masks until. When the infected go to sleep, the streets will be covered in fungus. Massive mushroom farms will be growing on building walls and rooftops, and the atmosphere will be covered in a haze due to the highly concentrated fungus spores. However, it is not harmful. The zombie apocalypse will be quite peaceful and silent if you have a gas mask. However, difficulties will still exist in the world, not because of fungi, but rather because some individuals, not all. Cities will be organized. Looters, robbers, and people wearing gas masks will be roaming the streets as anarchy rules the planet. Food will require a lot of work to obtain, and cities' electricity will only be available for a few hours each day rather than always. But throughout this entire period, people will continue to harbor hopes for a promising future. Sooner or later, a vaccination will be actively developed by scientists. Yet, the fungus may also change with time. The vaccination will fail, and a new treatment will also need to be developed. The fungus could try to spread through different carriers. Consider an infected deer with a large, developing fungus on its horns, along with any other mammals, birds, or cattle. The globe will be ruled by germs, and the number of huge beings will decline. After thousands of years of adaptation to the water, the fungus will start to infect fish, and soon the entire planet will resemble a massive mushroom. Okay, relax. This won't happen because cordyceps has evolved over millions of years to precisely fit the cold body of an ant. Furthermore, the internal abilities of the fungus are only intended to infect specific insects living nearby. For example, cordyceps from Thailand can infect an ant somewhere in Los Angeles. As a result, don't be concerned that it will suddenly be able to attack a human. Evolution doesn't happen suddenly. It's a time-consuming and difficult procedure, and the fungus has no motivation to change to warm-blooded hosts because it feels at home around ants and won't have any trouble reproducing if the ants go extinct and people start residing nearby. Evolution will start then. However, it can take millions or even 1,000 years for genetic modifications to occur. But don't unwind just yet. An assortment of fungi exist that has fulfilled all requirements to get the capacity to infect people. The name of it is Candida auris. It was unearthed in Japan in 2009, and experts were shocked to find it. Inside of people, the fungus may have evolved as a result of some regions' rising temperatures, according to researchers. Several years later, the fungus was discovered in numerous nations all over the world. Antifungal drugs are not very effective. At first, it is difficult to pinpoint its symptoms. This infection can have serious effects, especially in those with weakened immune systems. Scientists are worried about this microbe, but a vaccine is already being developed. It helped treat mice with a fungus, and soon, doctors aim to make a vaccine for humans available. Infection spreads via human fluid, sputum, saliva, and blood on our world. Fungi are a separate kingdom, but not all of them are nasty. They are vital for the survival of life since they nourish the soil with beneficial elements and break down detrimental ones. 90% of plants wouldn't exist today without the assistance of fungus, which helped plants migrate from the ocean to the land millions of years ago. These networks of unique tubes are known as mycelium, and the mushrooms we see are just the tip of the iceberg. It has multiple forms and can transform, travel through tunnels, and alter. There is a lot of material available regarding roots, but this is a subject best left for another film in the interim. Mushrooms taste great. Try sautéing it with onions and butter over a low burner. Hey, that's all there is to say today. If you stopped being curious, then click like and share on the video, either with your pals or click on these movies if you want to learn more, and remember to look on the Facts for Real videos.